Hello, I'm Sarah Peverley. Welcome to this video podcast on the Chester Noah play, which the Liverpool University Players and I performed in May 2013 at the Merseyside Maritime Museum. This podcast contains three of the actors from the play: Rio Matchett, who played Noah's wife, Alex Pardey, who played Noah himself, and Alex Ferguson, who played the role of Ham, Noah's son. And they're going to give us some insights into what it was like to perform a medieval drama for a modern general audience. So please enjoy our light-hearted take on the Chester Noah play.
Language, initially, I'd say, that was quite not a barrier, but it was definitely a challenge to get over, because it's not English really, is it? Or a very old form of English, which does sometimes seem foreign. So personally, the language thing for me, that was one of the main differences. Costumes were great.
I'd say since we took a lot of effort to modernise certain aspects, that there wasn't a huge amount of difference between performing that and some modern comedies.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I enjoyed the most was the kind of opportunity to learn about the context of it through what we did, kind of through the script.
Yeah, like how they would have done it back then.
Yeah.
As opposed to how we did it now in a modern context.
They didn't have the songs back then, did they?
Not quite like we did.
No.
Like we did.
I think there were songs.
There were songs, yeah.
They just didn't have
Not
Rihanna.
Rihanna.
No.
Yeah.
See, that's what they were missing back then. They needed some Rihanna. I actually find it easier learning longer speeches than choppy bits of dialogue, because then you need to learn other people's cues as well as your own lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I basically just look at a speech on itself and just sort of go over it hundreds of times, and eventually like your brain just gets sort of conditioned to recognising like the rhythm of the words and stuff like that, and then it becomes second nature really.
I'd say for me it's mostly discipline and talent.
See,
Do you think you
No, I'm terrible.
Those two things are more difficult for me.
I'm really bad at learning lines. I find it really hard. I record them and then listen to myself while I go to sleep in a kind of very sinister, subversive way.
Yeah, because the language was very different, and there were some words that were very unfamiliar to me. Like I sort of treat them less like words and more like just sort of, I don't know, they were more like just sounds, they were rhythms, and like after I'd repeated it numerous times, it just became natural to go to a certain sound next.
Yeah, the rhythm is really helpful in the rhyming pattern.
Oh yeah, the rhyming pattern, yeah. If it didn't have a rhyming pattern, it would probably take me twice as long to learn them, definitely, because I can sort of just guess what would come next otherwise.
I had barely any lines, but the rhyme pattern helped. I even made up some of the lines at some point, but the rhyme pattern helped.
Yes, you did. It was when you came out with a completely different accent in the second one as well.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was like a proper broad
It got a
Yorkshire,
bit
wasn't it?
Somerset, didn't it?
Somerset.
Oh yeah, that's the one, yeah.
We have a
I
hatchet.
have a hatchet. I was like,
Wonder Kings. I took my part by the balls, I really feel. Like, when people went in there with a character, 110%.
Oh, properly.
And it's committed.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you know,
It's what you have to do.
testing the other actor's resilience, as far as, you know, sort of trying not to laugh or go, what the hell are you doing?
Your little mouth quivering when I said that. Sorry.
Like, just watching you like, what is he doing?
Good times.
I thought that the role of the woman in the play was really interesting, being kind of the atypical medieval heroine. She was ballsy and a bit rude and a bit crude, but that was
very unpredictable.
Well, yeah, that was just what I brought to it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, she was so much fun to play. She was loads and loads of fun. I'm really glad she was a character who kind of held her own.
Well, the characters, all the brothers and the wives of the brothers, were quite nicely two-dimensional characters, I'd say. I mean, they were
very purposeful.
They were purposeful, yeah.
Yeah.
It gave us a lot of opportunity to play around with it.
Yeah.
Though, I thought that was.
They were just
about that.
They were just quite fun. There was no expectation there to try and delve deeper into some subconscious thing. They were just.
And yet you
it
did.
was a comedy. Yeah, I managed to somehow.
The wonder of acting. Yeah, I feel that my role was mostly the narrator as well. You know, so 40 days of footy gone. Say, right, guys, bringing you up to speed. The flood has been.
Yeah.
It's happened. We're now floating, because obviously we couldn't be floating in real life. So I was a bridge I was.
Oh yeah.
Between the audience and the content.
I guess expanding from that, the emphasis in the medieval drama is more on the story itself and the entertainment rather than the individual development of the characters like it is.
Yeah, or sort of hidden meanings or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all very much, this is exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and it's quite entertaining and saying, oh, look at this exciting story.
Yeah, I like that. It's very Ernest Hemingway.
Ah, Hemingway.
Hemingway, I do like Hemingway. Yeah. It's cold.
Windy.
Windy, especially by the river, wearing tights. That was the initial impression. But I like the fact that people could just come and go. It's all very organic, you know. So, and also it means that we had to make sure that we could be heard first of all. So you know that was a good sort of enunciation and projection lesson. But also because we had to make it as entertaining as possible to make sure that people didn't go away.
It was like working and seeing a direct result of what your work was doing.
Exactly.
Like you're being entertaining, and you have to work hard to entertain and work hard to project.
Yeah, you could determine how well you were doing by how many people were there.
Yeah, and then quite a big crowd at some point.
Oh,
So guys.
we did well.
Yeah.
I think the style lends itself to a lot of kind of gesticulation, and you know the characters are all really big over the top, kind of.
Yeah. We had to make it a bit melodramatic, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought that worked, particularly with the kind of family, child-friendly aspects that we tried to bring out.
Oh yeah.
I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
And to keep always something happening, even if it's in the background, like within the arc itself, to have some sort of movement going on, and the more little things happening always.
And again with the audience being kind of all around us, that's another great aspect of that.
You couldn't slack, because you could have
No.
been noticed. Every little detail would have been noted.
Not that you would ever slack anyway.
No, you know me, hard-working, reliable, predictable.
All of those things.
Yeah. Props are probably the most helpful thing, I think.
Yeah, props are very useful. Visual aids.
Visual aids.
To the words.
Again, talent.
Talent, yeah. I mean, there was glimpses of talent throughout our play.
Was there?
Glimpses. I could sense glimpses.
I was quite lucky, really, in that a lot of my lines, again, addressed them directly.
Yeah.
So I was able to kind of get a bit of eye contact going and get up quite close to them, which was nice, I think.
Yeah, engaging, because we were all on the same level as well, weren't we?
Yeah,
So that really helped. So we had the little boards with animals on.
Yeah,
things like
the
that.
puppets.
Little puppets, they were cool. Yeah. And just things like that. Really, just keep the kids entertained.
And the parents have to stay.
Yeah, exactly. That's brilliant. Because
and keep the other actors on their toes. I mean, that's a big thing. Like
that was a big thing for you. Yeah.
Do different things.
Don't ever let it become stale.
Don't let it become stale. Do different things with the puppets every time.
Exactly.
Annoy you in different ways.
Annoy me
with the owls and stuff. As you're doing Olivia's speeches.
You see, because
that becomes more entertaining.
Exactly.
It's real drama.
Because if we're bored on stage, then we will look bored. People will be bored.
Yeah, but we can act not bored. Yeah. That's one of the advantages.
Yeah, but it's easy to act not bored when you're not bored.
Yeah.
That's profound.
I think it's important to just take it a little bit almost tongue-in-cheek. All the movements had to be quite exaggerated. You couldn't go half-hearted about it. You had to sort of move in a very deliberate way. So with the board, take every step in a dramatic way almost, and just sort of have fun with it. Really, it was a part that I didn't feel any pressure on in terms of there was no real propensity for me to mess up as such.
Huh?
As much as everyone else. So you could sort of just have fun with it. I can't think I'll say and move dramatically and smile, of course.
Always smile.
Always smile.
Even in tragedy.
Yeah.
You should always smile.
Ironically.
Yeah. That was my ironic smile.
It was beautiful.
It's good, though, wasn't it?
It's always good to keep up the acting at all times. Remember, you are playing a character and you are playing a part, and you're very visual to everyone there. You're part of the arc and you're part of on the boat, because a lot of it was spent with the three sons and the wives just sitting on the boat, and you'd have to not just sit there like you wanted to. You had to be interacting and almost be having mini conversations with people. But mine.
The movement wasn't really a big concern for me. I kind of just sort of, when I'm saying the lines, I'll do whatever feels natural at that point. But I suppose the main sort of difficulty of the movement was dancing and looking like I was enjoying it. That's the main thing. Because man, dancing's not my strong suit, but being in this play, it means I've been not subjected.
Given the opportunity.
Given the opportunity to widen my artistic repertoire, thank you. If you just fill in the big words from now on, that'd be great. I could now do musical theatre if I wanted to. Yeah. But sometimes movement can be detrimental, for instance when people fall over.
I was just going to say, yeah, the most fun and fear that I had in the movement was getting dragged back into the boat.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, the second performance, quite honestly, falling on top of Alex. So thanks for that.
It's okay.
You're very chivalrous.
I think it's the fact that we just went along with it.
That's the joy of live theatre.
Oh, the joy of it. We didn't just look at you and go, "What are you doing, woman?"
Cut.
You know, yeah. So we'll start this bit again. Yeah, no, we carried on.
And the audience loved it. 'Cause it was very funny.
Exactly. People love seeing people fall over.
Suffering for my art.
Exactly. It's self-deprecation at its very best. Slapstick humour.
Yes.
Made me feel quite professional, actually. So it's sort of like a very condensed version of doing like a run in the West End or something, you know, where you're doing a performance every day. But here we're doing a performance every 20 minutes, twice, and then we go home. So, you know, it's sort of, we're sort of working our way up.
West End, just
exactly like the West End.
Yeah, I was much more nervous the second time round than I was the first. Just because, I don't know, I think I was worried that maybe we would have lost some momentum, but I don't think we did. I think it went really well.
That's the sort of general thing, if you have like a really good opening night, you kind of like, we can't do better than that.
Because the first run went so brilliantly.
Yeah.
I was a bit worried that, you know, maybe there wouldn't be as much audience or we'd lose some energy, but it turned out alright.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
We did well.
Aside from the falling.
That's great, I enjoyed that.
Thank you. Ooh.
How I looked in tights, I think.
Blue tights.
Blue tights.
What?
Yeah. What? Is that medieval?
The smiles on the faces of those little children, and how I feel like we've opened a world to them, really, of both theatre and learning and gender ambiguity.
Yeah.
Which is what life's all about.
Yeah,
Those three things.
Especially the theatre, let's be honest.
No, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that it was out there in the public.
Oh yeah, it was.
That there was, you know, I think we probably accessed a lot of people that aren't usually a theatre-going audience, because, you know, there was no kind of commitment from them. They could just pause, and I think that's really nice because they were enjoying it, I think.
Yeah, it was different than anything else I've ever done before. You know, I've
Yeah.
never done an outside play, let alone an outside medieval
There's something you used to say you've done now. You performed outside to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual people.
Real
people with faces and everything.
I quite like the camaraderie within the cast was good too.
Yeah.
We all like supported each other, and we all like bounced off each other and worked with each other on.
Mainly just because we had to kind of force each other into the costumes. I feel.
Yeah.
It was a 3-man job often.
They say though, like casual nakedness and putting on a play is a really good way of making friends. Really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sunshine.
Sunshine would be lovely.
It would have been nice to do another run. I'm not quite sure when or where, but I feel like there was...
I would have changed the fact that I had exams and coursework in for that time. So I was kind of like, I can't stay around and congratulate myself. I need to go back to work.
Congratulate you now. You did very well.
Yeah,
well done.
You were really
we
good.
all did very well.
I didn't notice how big the audience was. Like when I looked up, I realised how big the amount of people that came to see it were. A combination of people that were through advertising and through marketing at the Players, and also people just walking by, stopping and like laughing at these ridiculous people in costumes, and then listening and going, "Ooh, really good! Now I'm going to take a massive interest in medieval theatre forever."
Did they say that to you?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, actually, I'd agree that the amount of people who actually stopped and paid attention surprised me, because, you know, we all had fun doing it and it was great and we were happy with it. But, you know, as far as like medieval play is concerned, it can be a bit sort of alienating sometimes, I think. But I think the way we put it on, it made people stop and listen. So that was cool.
Yeah. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it was how much of the play was still so relevant and so funny, and you know, the things that people found funny all that time ago are still very, very funny and relevant now.
People falling over.
The old classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt as though it was that was part of the modernisation, but then it really wasn't. It really
Yeah.
was actually
There's so
part
much in
of
the
what he was.
text that is, yeah, very funny, very poignant.
I liked the bit where you all had like Kitty's toys as the tools.
Yeah, and we were building the ark, but then we did a little bit of Lauren and Hardy when one of us tries to hammer something and then moves back and hits the other one on the head behind us.
Great.
Falls over. I think the audience actually missed that bit, but we enjoyed it.
That's the thing, it's so intricate.
The subtleties.
Layers.
It's a multi-layered
Layers.
masterpiece, that's what it is.
That's why people came round the second time, because they got more out of it the second time.
They could notice things in
Yeah.
the background, sure.
Shall we wrap that up then?
That's a wrap.